Hello, my name is Dr. Yaya Sissoko, Professor of Economics, Department of Finance and Economics, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Today, we're going to talk about Chapter 2, Labor Supply, the Labor Supply Curve. So what is the labor supply curve? The labor supply curve shows the relationship between hours worked and the wage rate. This means at wages slightly above the revolution wage, the labor supply curve is positively sloped, meaning it's going up. That is, the substitution effect dominates the income effect. On the other end, if the income effect begins to dominate, the substitution hours of work decline as the wage rate increases. So this means the labor supply curve is going down. That is a negatively sloped labor supply curve. How do you explain the backward bending of the labor supply curve? Let's begin with the reservation wage of $10 an hour. Any wage below this reservation wage, the person does not work. This means that labor supply is zero. But as the wage rate start to increase above the $10, the reservation wage, more and more people want to work, and labor supply will increase, and it will be upward sloping or positive slope. So when when the wage rate is $20 and above $20, so the labor supply, less and less people want to work. Labor supply curve will start to decrease. So labor supply curve, the downward sloping or negatively slope. So here from $10 to $20, the substitution effect dominate the income effect. From 20 above any wage rate above $20, the income effect start to dominate the substitution effect. Therefore, this explains why the labor supply is backward bending. Now let's talk about labor supply of women in the U.S. There are substantial cross-country differences in women labor participation rates. Over time, women participation rates has increases. So in most study on female labor supply, the substitution effect dominate the income effect for women. So this implies that and that we have an upward slope labor supply curve, meaning that as wage rate increases, more and more women want to work. Therefore, labor supply curve for women will be positively sloped or upward sloping. Now, let's explain labor supply over the life cycle. So, wage rates change over the worker life. So, wages are low when the worker is young. Wages rise when with time and peak around age 50. Wages decline or remain stable after age 50. The changes in wages over the life cycle are evolutionary wage changes that alter the price of leisure. This is the graph of labor participation rate over the life cycle in 2013. As you can see, both the male represented by the blue line and female represented by the black line start working at the age of 18. So the labor participation rate for both female and male is 40%. But As age increases, around 25 years old, so with male participation rate, so start increasing more than, so the participation rate of the female. You can see that at the age 20, at age 25, female, the level participation rate of female is about 72%, while the participation rate for male is about 81%. So as age, continue to increase, so so the level participation rate of female plateau around 75%, plateau around 75%, and then the labor participation rate of male, plateau around 90%. So as the age approaches, so 50, so both for the labor participation rate for male and female start to decrease. But overall, the participation rate for male is higher than the participation rate of female. At the age of 65, the labor participation rate for female dropped to 40%, and then the labor participation rate for male is dropped to 55%. Looking at the hours, the graph of the hours work over the life cycle in 2013 in the US for both male in the blue line and female black line, we can see that at the age of 18, so both female and male work about 800 hours annually. But as the age starts to increase, so men work slightly more hours than women. So at the age of 25, for instance, female are working about 1,800 hours per year, while male are working about 2,000 hours per year. So as the age increases, so the number of hours worked by female, stays stable around 1,900 hours per year, while the one from male stays stable around 23 hours, 2,300 hours per year. So when the age reaches 60, when the age is 60 for both male and female, so the hours worked by male and the hours worked by female both decreases. For instance, at the age of 65, so female will be working about 1,800 hours per year, while male will be working about so about 2,200 hours per year. Overall, so male work more hours than female over the life cycle. Looking at table 2.2, the level for participation rate of women in the US from 1900 to 2010, we can see that for all women, so the level for participation rate was in 1900 was only 20.6%, this increases to 58.6% in 2010. If we break it down in three categories, so with respect to single women, married women, and widow or divorced or separate women, we can see that in 1900, for 43.5% of women, single women, were participating in the labor force. So so against only 5.6% for married women, and 32.5% for the widow and divorced women. So by 2010, single women have about 62.3%, while married women have 61% for labor force participation, and then widow and divorced or separate have 48.8%. We can see by 2010, so married women close the gap, in terms of labor force participation with have closed the gap, almost closed the gap in terms of labor force participation with single women. Table 2.4 show the impact of earned income tax credit on the labor force participation for women. So the tax credit has more impact on unmarried women with children, so before the before the legislation, about 73.9% of unmarried women with children were participating in the labor force. After the tax, this increased to 75.3%. The difference is about an increase of 2.4% due to the tax credit, the income tax credit. On the other hand, for unmarried women without children, there was no impact. So before the tax, it was 95.2%. This, after the tax, it stayed the same to 95.2%, and the difference is zero in that case. So you can see that the income tax credit impact more unmarried women with children than unmarried women without children. Table 2.1 show the labor force participation rate of men from 1900 to 2010. Overall, from 1900 to 2010, men aged 24 to 44 have the highest labor force participation rate than men 45 to 64. So the men age so over 65 have the least labor for participation rate from 1900 to 2010. So table 2.3 talk about the labor supply in the US in 2017, age 25 to 64. Overall, the labor participation rate for men is higher than the one for women for all the person, including education and attainment, and also for all ages, and then also for all race. On the other hand, and the annual hours of work for men is also higher than the one for women for for all the person, including educational attainment, ages, and race. However, there are more women working, so part-time job than men for all the person, including, educational attainment, also for all the ages and for also all the race. This is the end of the video about labor supply curve. Next time, I will talk about the estimate of the labor supply elasticity. Thank you.